in Rhode Island. And so this is a continuation of my public service. We need leadership. I believe leadership is not about ranks and privileges and titles. Leadership is about taking responsibility for what happens on your watch, and I've done that throughout my whole career. So we need to bring jobs back to America. We need to bring jobs back to Rhode Island. We know that. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the country, and we can do better than this. We must do better than this. But at a time when Washington needs us, or when we need Washington the most, Washington's broken. The approval rating of Congress is about, I believe the last poll, Rasmussen poll, was about 9%. It went from 11 to 9. You couldn't run a business with a 9% approval rating with your customers. So this is the greatest country in the world. I believe this is the greatest country in the world. We have the best people in the United States. I'm a true believer in American exceptionalism, but Washington is broken. So we need stronger voices. We need to bring jobs back through tax reform. We need health care reform. We need regulatory reform. And we need a robust energy policy. We don't need to rely on OPEC nations for our energy. I just gassed up before I came here at $4 a gallon. 4 years ago, our gas prices were around $1.80, $1.85 a gallon. I feel bad for these young, hard-working people trying to raise a family, and they're driving a long distance to work, or the young entrepreneur who has 4 or 5 trucks on the road. I know a young fellow right here from Bristol who runs a landscaping company. He's a hard-working guy. He has 4 trucks on the road. His gas prices have gone up. That's less money in his pocket to spend, and what do they have to do? They have to pass those costs on to the consumer. So we have some serious issues. This is a very important time in our nation's history right now. And I'm running for Congress in the 1st District because I believe I have the requisite leadership skills to go to Washington, to help reach across the table, to get things done. We're too polarized in Washington. We can't get anything done. We need people who can find common ground. So there are so many issues we need to look at, aside from energy, Social Security. In my view, our seniors work hard to get where they are. They should be safe on Social Security, and our seniors about to go on Social Security should be safe. We need to reach down the road and help strengthen Social Security. I want to work with a president and a Congress that wants to strengthen Social Security. So there are many other issues out there. You know, I'm real big on fiscal responsibility and waste and fraud and corruption in government. I've seen a lot of that throughout my career. I worked alongside of the federal government for many years and saw a lot of waste. And yes, fraud. You know, we talk about Medicare. There are people stealing from Medicare. In 2010, there was $48 billion, with a B, $48 billion stolen from Medicare. In my view, that's stealing from our seniors, because we know we have a lot of issues in the state. There's my friend Mario. How are you, Mario?
Good, how much
I'm doing well. He's a good man. Let's give Mario a round of applause. Everyone knows that. So those are things I want to look at, folks. That I have to go back to my own experience, and you know, I'll be talking about family values and things like that during this campaign. But it comes back to fraud and waste in government. We have hard-working people. I just drove down the street here. There's some guys, 85 years old, spreading asphalt. That's a tough job. And while these guys are spreading asphalt and trying to raise a family, we have people in Washington spending money wastefully. I'll give you some examples. Solyndra. We spent $536 million of your money in Solyndra. The recent GSA, I don't know if some of you follow this, but the Government Services Agency had a seminar, is what they called it. It turned out to be a big party outside of Las Vegas in Henderson, Nevada. $823,000, almost $1 million. So when I look at that, it was a waste. It was a total waste. It was highly publicized in the media. When I look at that, I wonder, why did they even need that in their budget, that figure, $1 million? So we need to look at all of these government agencies. These are tough times, but the federal government is not tightening their belt like the cities and towns are. We could use that $823,000 in Central Falls, Rhode Island, or in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, or in Warren, or in Newport. So those are the things that I'm going to look at, and I want to be a congressman that will lead this state, like we've been led before, to set an example for future generations to come. So folks, I need your help and I need your support in November's election. Thank you very much for having me here. Yes, sir.
They're talking about cutting the military budget by $50 billion. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm having a law enforcement background and having been involved with the Fusion Center and in Homeland Security issues in the past. I'm a big proponent of a strong military and a strong Homeland Security. We need to secure our borders and we can never let our guard down again. If that means fighting to keep that budget, that's what we have to do. There's 16,000 jobs on Aquidneck Island right here on Rhode Island that depend on the defense budget. So I'm a big supporter of it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My son was in the military, was a black colored Department. He was in charge of 6. One ran up, fly it, take it down, take the parts from one, put it in the second one. He finally quit. He said, "You're asking us to go fly. They don't have the equipment. What can you do about it?"
Well, that speaks to the budget we were talking about, and the military leaders that I've talked to have emphasized that we need to make sure we have the right equipment. Well, we need to secure that, we need to make sure that our troops, the best military in the world, have the right equipment. So we have the best and the brightest military in the world, and I thank your son for his service.
My husband was in 21 years.
Thank you.
We went to Korea and we had Social Security.
Well, I mentioned Social Security, that we need to make sure that our seniors are secure. We need to make sure that, but we made a social contract with our seniors. My mom is 85 years old. She relies on Social Security. I go to visit my mom at a assisted living almost every day. If I miss a day, she gets mad at me. I have to get in there every day. And I sit with the seniors there. I understand those problems and the fear. They shouldn't have to worry about that. They shouldn't have to worry about their Social Security. I will fight to make sure our Social Security is strengthened. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. What are your plans for bringing jobs into the state? So that's what we
Absolutely, and that comes down to tax reform, and there's a lot of pieces to the tax reform. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the world here in America. We used to be number 2 last year, now we're number 1. And that's really not showing support for our private sector. We need private sector growth, and to do that, all of the business leaders that I talk to me about the inconsistencies in the tax code, the lack of confidence, and they'd be able to bring more jobs in if we have tax reform. Now that's across the board. That's individual taxes and corporate taxes. So we also need to be able to repatriate and allow these multinationals. We have many multinational companies in this country that have parked their dollars overseas. We need to create an opportunity through territorial tax to let those creating an environment so those companies can bring that money back to help stimulate our economy. But right here in Rhode Island, we're working on plans right now. My campaign is for Rhode Island specific, but those other things I talked about in energy policy. Look, we just gave up a tremendous opportunity with the Keystone Pipeline that some of you may have followed. That was, I believe, 1,700 miles of pipeline to be laid in the United States by U.S. workers, and we lost that. We lost that opportunity.
Hopefully this administration ran out of batteries. Yeah, exactly.
More money for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Getting back to Social Security, there should be plenty of money there. The government keeps raiding it, and there's a lot of IOUs in there.
Well, that's a good point. There are a lot of IOUs. The question was about back to Social Security again. But I'm a firm believer that we made a social contract with our seniors. Our seniors work very hard to get where they are. And we should not let them down. We cannot let them down. They should be safe and shouldn't even have to worry about it. You shouldn't have to worry about Social Security. So we know we need to strengthen Social Security down the road. There are ways to do that, but our seniors today should not have to worry about it at all.
They keep raiding it, that's why.
Well, that's why I say we should strengthen it, because, yeah, there is,
There are a lot of IOUs there, so we need to turn that around. Well, folks, I actually went to the wrong building. I went to the first building, and it really is about 85 degrees out. Only although the weatherman just said it was 75 in Providence, I don't think so. It's warm out. So I was so happy in here and see you have great air conditioning. Yeah. So this is a really nice place. Really seems to be comfortable and a lot of good people here. I appreciate having me here, folks. God bless.